What's up guys, Diplex here again. Welcome back to Men of War Assault Squad 2 and RobZ Realism mod. I'm not entirely sure where the ground below me is flashing, but we'll try and look away from that. We're going to focus on the units we have in front of us. We're doing a World War II top 5 free-for-all. Here are the participating nations and their deployed units. We have the British Commandos to the left, the German Fallschirmjägers in the center left. In the middle here we have the US 101st Airborne. To the center right, we have the Soviet Black Sea Marines. And finally here, to the far right, we've got the elite SNLF, Japanese Marines. It's gonna be one hell of a fight. We're also adding tanks. What do we got? Well, all of them have 75mm main guns, so we're going with 5 really classic medium tanks. I can't really say that the Japanese Chinook is a classic tank, but over here, Team 1, the Brits, they're deploying the Cromwell. Team 2, the Germans, they've got the Panzer IV. Team 3, the US, they've got the good old Sherman. Team 4 got the T-34, and of course that's the Soviets. Team 5, the Japanese Chinook. Once again, this is an all-out free-for-all. All of these factions will be fighting each other in this gruesome battle over this very, very small town center, and we'll have to find out who wins. Stay tuned. I am back again, and the battle is about to begin. So I googled the Japanese Chinook tank, and it turns out it actually never ever saw combat during World War II. They built it in preparation for the mainland invasion of Japan, which never actually happened. So that's a shame. We'll see what happens. It's not a shame that they never invaded, but it's a shame that the poor tank never got to see some combat. So, yes, I wanted to get that. Oh, fuck. The computer's breaking. Jeez. There we go. Sorry about that. And yes, we'll see how it performs during this 5-faction free-for-all. Lots of Fs. We'll see who takes home the win. Units will be entering the field as we speak. We have the Brits up here to the north on top of the screen. Yes, well, they're not here yet. But any moment, they'll come out of the fog, so to speak. We've got the Germans here to our right. They've entered, yes. Have the Americans to their left entered? Yes, they're coming down the hill here as well. Yes, the Brits are on the field. Oh, some are even climbing the side of the wall. Good on you, Commandos. They teach you well. We've got Japanese to the right of them, and the Soviets in between the Americans and Japanese. So we've kind of spaced them out evenly. We've mixed Axis and allied factions. Not that they have anything in common, really, weapon-wise or anything else, but thought that would be interesting. And yes, it is a free-for-all, so everyone will be fighting everyone. And it looks like we can establish one thing at a start. And that is that absolutely every faction but the Japanese are currently involved. So, they're lucky. The Brits did not turn right to shoot at them, but they might. But so far the Japanese are in a bit of an advantageous situation there at the top of the hill, so we'll see how they do. Right now the Germans are being pushed back a little bit, but they're going to take to the right to engage the Brits. So we've got a bit of a personal standoff here between the Germans and British. Some soldiers even pulled really far back to almost their spawn area just to engage the Brits at a distance. The rest are pretty close to them. We can also establish the fact that the Americans are engaging the Soviets, and that the Soviets are engaged by both the Japanese and Americans. So they're in a bit of a tricky spot right now. The Japanese decided to go down to the right instead of the left. So they're not going to be attacking the Brits in the rear. Interesting. So weapons-wise, we can take a little tour here of the battlefield. The Brits will be deploying the Sten gun, the Bren gun, and the Lee Enfield. Okay, so that's a standard equipment for the commandos there. On the German Fallschirmjäger side, we have the MP40, the K98, and the FG42. That would go with the FG42 instead of the MG. It also fits the Bren and BAR and all the other guns more than being the beast it actually is. But I thought, let's deploy a more Fallschirmjäger unique weapon. That should be pretty cool. On the US 101st side of things, we've got the Thompson, M1 Garand, and the BAR. I didn't actually want to go with the 30 cal there either. I think the BAR will be a little more suitable here. The Soviets have the Mosin, the PPSH, and the DP 28 or 27, whatever the gun is. The Japanese, the Type 99 rifle, LMG, and submachine gun. So all of it is Type 99. Could be the Type 100 SMG, I'm not entirely sure. Whatever was the SNLF standard equipment. So all the weapons are pretty balanced. Some of them have advantages, some of them have disadvantages, but it evens out pretty nicely. We'll find out and realize that this is going to be an extremely even game. Every time I've hit that start button over the last hour or so testing and whatnot, tweaking and twisting and tweaking and twerking and all that stuff, it's always been like 1 or 2 survivors from one faction, which is insane. So it's extremely... Someone's screaming Banzai over here. Now that's pretty cool. Oh, tanks are entering the field now. This is the 1 out of 2 waves that will be deployed. We also just saw an addition of more infantry being spawned in, so we've got 2 waves of infantry spawned so far. A total of 4 will be spawned. So the tanks will be arriving from the same location and direction as the infantry, and immediately a few rivalries have been established. The Panzer IV is going to take a shot at the Cromwell, which is essentially going to crumble because it's a Cromwell. So it's going to crumble down and not function anymore, I suppose. The Sherman is targeting the Soviet T-34, which actually decided to ram through the buildings instead of staying at spawn, which I think is a pretty good idea. And oh, it's going to take a shot at the Sherman. It's going to bounce, not penetrate. Oh, dude! Did you see the body parts flying past the screen? I didn't, so yeah. No demonetization over there. But yeah, it ran into some US airborne infantry instead, and ultimately they took it out that way. So that was quite impressive. Sherman will survive, and it's going to continue. The Panzer IV, though, heard of it, so it's going to try and come in on its side. Oh, dude. The US and Germans are about to make contact for the first time. This building and these walls here have kind of screened them off a little bit. Oh, look, the untested Type 3 Chi-Nu tank is being added to the fight as well. Dude, the Sherman is outrunning the Panzer IV, and it's gonna come in on its flank. Fucking rest in Pepperino. Oh, dude. Oh, but that Type 3, though.
Oh, sayonara, Mr. Bond.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? Dude, why did you not fire? You had the chance. Let me guess. You didn't even load 8P. Is this tank even working? Is there even any combat proof of this tank working? Oh no, right. It was never even deployed. And why did I call this Sherman driver here Mr. Bond? It's not even British. It's American. All right. Thought it could be like a James Bond scene or something from some I don't know. Not that there's any tanks really engaging each other in a James Bond movie, but you know, I like that kind of scene where it pulls up on the side and the boss, which I guess in this case would be Japanese, says something punchy like "Sayonara, Mr. Bond," and then just, I guess, Bond pulls out a magic tool, kills the tank. In this case, he fired first. But yeah. Banzai! So they're holding the city center now. The Germans are daring themselves back into the fight after losing their Panzer IV in a huge explosion. Huge explosion. How are the Brits doing? They're caught up with the Japanese now. They're fighting back here at spawn, so they are not doing well at all. Poor commandos, man. Well trained, honestly. Well trained, battle hardened men. There's a really good book. Yeah, it's called Utmost Savagery, I think. It's about the Battle of Ontarawa, where like 3,000 SNLF Marines were killed, or out of 3,000, 17 survived, or something like that. It was one of the bloodiest battles in the war, and the tactics both sides employed. The title is fitting. Very good book. This Sherman is gonna go havoc here. or wreak havoc. Some Japanese tank men are being targeted across the street. The Soviets. What happened to the Soviets? The Black Sea Marines, the battle-hardened, hard-fighting Odessa veterans. What happened to them? Oh well. They're not here. They're going to be receiving reinforcements soon. And honestly, a T-34 arriving from this direction with some infantry can cause some serious damage to the airborne and Sherman that has now kind of like flanked around. They're going to be engaging the Japanese now. The Germans are being given some breathing room here. They only really have to counter a few airborne stragglers here on this side and whatever's left of the poor British commandos on the right side who are somewhat retreated. I wish we could enable silhouettes like we do in Squad. I really want to see what's happening right now. Oh boy. Tank down.
Tanku down.
No wait, did they destroy it? I think they did. It was the Japanese tank. It wasn't even the T-34 because it came in from a different angle. Oh boy, I think that the Americans who came out on top previously by destroying all the enemy tanks are now going to be the first to lose their tank in the second round. The Panzer IV got the revenge kill, unless it was the T-34 on this side. We'll find out later, I suppose. This Sherman went down quite instantly to the Japanese tank that lost the previous duel with that exact tank. How is the Cromwell doing? And the Cromwell is alive. Will it get a early shot out on the... Oh, it's... Oh, yes, look at that. Interesting. That shot was not enough to take it out. And the German tank got the shot off first, so naturally it's going to be able to deliver a second round. Both tanks did the same damage using the first round, but since the Germans were quicker with the second, it's going to take out the British tank entirely after just disabling the tracks. We'll see if they can repair it, though, on this side, because otherwise it's going to be quite immobilized. We'll have to find out. Soviet tank still roaming around. The Japanese tank is just idling. I think it's going to spot the T-34 first. Why is the tank crew on this tank not aiming at the... Oh, come on. Seriously? Yeah, well, infantry, if I were you, I'd get way closer and just throw hand grenades. I think some of you are thinking about that right now. You're going to get mowed down, dude. Oh, he's reloading. He's reloading machine gun. Here comes the Type 3. Type 3. Why aren't you firing? Dude! What's wrong with you? I want to legit know what's wrong with you. I have to go into the game. I have to look at you. No, you're fine. You've got the AP rounds. Everything is fine. You're functioning. You're reloading. Why aren't you shooting? I had to make sure there wasn't any major errors or difficulties. What is that tank crew smoking? There we go. Somehow missed. Or whatever. Shot a dirt shell. It just turned into dirt. While reloading, you can actually aim the turret. There we go. This is the most derpy tank engagement I've ever seen. The T-34 isn't even aiming. Oh boy, it's gonna turn into pieces. GG though, the untested combat tank managed to somehow win, not because of its excellence, but because of the derpy-ass Soviet tank crew on that one. So I guess that makes a disabled or immobilized Panzer IV that can be repaired, and it probably will be if the crew decides to jump out and do it. And the first Type 3 to do something in combat. Which means, since it only has, let's check it out again, it has one tank kill, it means that this Soviet T-34 that went down to it was the one that disabled this American tank over here. Okay, I can go back into the cinematic mode now that we've established that. This tank is going to go to the same location that its own, well, that its friendly tank went down at. We've got a Panzer IV here. Did it spot it? It's going to spot it in a second. And Booyaka shot. No, it didn't fire. There's some friendlies in the way, and there's also a stone in the way. Wait a minute. I wonder if the Japanese tank that has positioned itself with the rear facing the Panzer IV can actually see it. Here's the issue, right? We've got commandos over here. They're going to kill any German infantry that sneaks too close. So the German infantry might not be able to throw AT grenades. I still hear the Garans and whatnot of the US airborne here that have completely eliminated the Soviet reinforcements. They're not even... They will be receiving waves, but they've probably been cut down here on the field, or they've retreated instantly just because of the fact that the US have, like, captured that area entirely. So the Cold War is pretty much already won. That Japanese tank crew is about to face the same fate as the Soviet tank crew. Without any infantry support, running it into infantry is a bad idea. That's going to be a bad Saturday, mate. Bad evening. Bad evening. Okay, I'm not going to be a disc jockey ever. But anyway, or a radio announcer for that part. Welcome to 105 on the air with DiplexHeated. Oh! The X part would mean that it's a certain type of show, but it's not what it is. No, DiplexHeated. I could be like that worthless rapper. What's his name? XXX Temptation or something. Yeah, DiplexHeated. Ah, cool, slick. If I was a rapper, it would just be DiplexXX. Ha! Solved it. Be a big ass parody. But yeah, anyway. What are we doing? Let's take a look at the minimap. We've got 0 Brits alive. R.I.P. We've got a whole bunch of Germans alive. We've got a few Americans. 0 Soviets. And a bunch of Japanese. It's gonna turn into a fight of the Axis right now. Oh, man. Oh, look. I spotted it. Not Japanese, German soldier getting out of the tank to repair it. And one is crewing the machine gun. Dude, they're doing it. Fallschirmjäger's moving up. I think it's looking good for both the Germans and Japanese. But here's the thing, though. Here's what's so interesting about this. If the Japanese and Germans wear each other down, the American airborne is just going to glide in and be like, what up, baby? And take the victory. That's what they're going to do. So we'll see if they... Some of the German Fallschirmjägers are being sent out to this direction, though, and that means they're thinning their forces, which ultimately means that the Japanese are going to have an easier time taking these guys down. It's so uncertain right now. Do you hear that FG-42 working? Yeah, that was a live grenade, buddy. Maybe not the best thing to lie down next to, but I think the German who threw it... Shh. It's going to be okay. Japanese LMG gunner up here. Fired off a couple of rounds. Oh, he's still shooting. Where's the shooter at? In here? Where's that sneaky Marine hiding? Where do we have the SNLF soldier? He was firing from this area, wasn't he? I don't know. Oh, guy. Oh, there he is. He's standing. Kind of blended in with the wall painting. He's like, yeah, same colors. The Panzer IV is on the prowl. It's on the prowl. Prowl. It's moving. And it's going to be using the wreck of the previous one as some kind of cover. Genius. We'll see if it... Oh, look at that. Germans are on the advance. Japanese soldiers on this side. Taking up cover and protection. But that tank arriving as support is going to be fundamentally important. And I mean, crucially important. It's going to be crucial. That's the word. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Anyway. I think they're chasing the Japanese back now. Some of them are establishing themselves. Oh, here's a Fallschirmjäger that went down on the street. They got a little too close without any covering fire. I'm not going to look at numbers. The truth will be told pretty soon anyway. Whoa, no. I think that would have been the last airborne soldier that ran back. He got gunned down, but he was alive for a while. I thought they lost everyone. here by the wall, but nope. Good game, guys. I think the SNLF are alive by, not chance, but like, they probably wouldn't be alive if the Russian T-34 had won that engagement. That was a good shrapnel grenade, honestly. They're good, though. The SNLF Marines are good. They're really good. They're accurate, too. But the Fallschirmjägers are kind of like surrounding them now. They're getting the tactical upper hand here. They're literally coming in from all angles right now. This tank has done the best thing ever, which was just to flank around the flank entirely. You got to give it to the AI. Sometimes it can be devilishly smart. Oh, boy. I had a bit of a syntax error there, but, oh, MG42. Is it going to fire that main gun? HE shell? Pop an HE right in the building? Oh, man. They're being very much pushed back right now, but once again, we might see another bit of a dirt moment there. If this tank decides to run up all the way in front of the enemy, it might suffer from an AT grenade. But yes, the Germans have successfully taken the field, and with what remaining, only 5 men in 1 tank that actually did survive, which is impressive. In many of my other testing sessions, none of the tanks have survived, because infantry, as you can tell, have killed many tanks today. Good stuff, and only 5 men survived. Only 5. See how close it is? Always. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon again. Wonderful, wonderful battlefield. Let's take a look at casualties. The Brits are represented in yellow right now. Many dead here to the struggle against the Germans. Plenty up here fighting the Japanese. Team 2, which would be Germany, mostly in the center here, fighting the Americans and the Brits primarily. Some up here in the final fight. Team 3, the Americans, spread out over a large area. They captured a lot of ground. They lost some here to the Germans, some here to the Soviets and Japanese as well. Team 4, which would be the Soviets, mostly here by their spawn, here and back here in the shadows. Team 5, the Japanese, with a very big map conquest. Out here fighting the Americans, over here in the center, all the way here in the British spawn. They were conquerors, so to speak. They spread out quite a lot. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and I will see you guys in a top 5 World War I free-for-all, perhaps? Infantry only, maybe? World War II is more versatile, I'll give you that, but maybe a modern warfare. Yes, we'll do a World War III free-for-all. Russia, America, UK, China. What would be the last one? This UK, America, China, Russia, and France or Germany? I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Maybe Japan, add another Asian faction. Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon again. Ciao. I think we're about ready to get this battle. Okay, guys, I think we're ready to start the fight over this small town center. All the 5 teams will be meeting in the center, and it's gonna be a pretty cool fight. I Googled the Chinu tank out of just pure interest. I didn't know much about it, and it turns out that it never actually saw combat during World War. Why do I get? That sounds like some Super Mario level up. Oh, damn.